Guys, welcome back. You are with TheReal PG, and today we're going to be looking at the Prizepicks MLB October 11th slate. But first, let's take a look back at yesterday and see what the MLB did for us. So what we gave out yesterday was a 4-play combination of Daniel Carlson, Devontae Adams yards over, Josh Jacobs receiving yards over, and Travis Kelce for a touchdown. He had plenty of those, so it's kind of funny they only marked him for one. They just want to stop giving him credit after that, I guess. So cleared that one with flying colors. Devontae was a half a yard short at halftime, and he only had one reception after. Granted, it was a 55-yard touchdown, and he balled the hell out. Barely got there, all things considered. But we did get there. A win is a win. Me, on a personal note, I hit on FanDuel last night, and unfortunately, it was not the 40K. I had about 950 dupes of my lineup, but a win is a win. You know, it's only $70, but I mean, I don't do DFS for, when I get a showdown win. I'm not doing it for the dollars. I'm doing it for the glory and the bragging rights of first place. Showdown is so hard not to dupe with so many people if you want to get a good chalky line in and try to get different in only one spot, which was Marquez for me. Yeah, it is what it is. Good win for me, though. I will take it. So, on to today's. It is a tight slate again. Very little value. I have two picks that I'm more confident in than the other two, but the reason I am more confident is just because something we've talked about in the past in the stream. Professional pitchers with lines of 2.5 and 3.5 is kind of a joke. Like, you got to see the value in this being professionals in the playoffs. You're telling me they can't work up 4 strikeouts over the course of 5 innings minimum, probably? Come on now. So we're going to start off Logan Gilbert against Houston in Houston. Let's take a peek on our splits tool. So Logan Gilbert is a righty facing Houston at home. So if we scroll down, because we're going to have to. So they come in at a 19.7% strikeout rate. So that's not really terrible. 20% is a pretty average number for the league. For the playoff teams left, they are kind of among the middle of the road, but that 3.5 line is just too low, considering they strike out 1 in every 5 people. Let's take a peek on good old Pinnacle and see where they have the man at. So if we scroll down and we find Logan Gilbert, he is juiced insanely heavily at -151 to the over 3.5 strikeouts. This is a slam dunk play according to Las Vegas. This is a slam dunk play according to my projections and my eye test. I'll lock it in. Play number 1, Logan Gilbert, more than 3.5 strikeouts. See anybody else with a stupid low strikeout? I do. Quantrill. Great pitcher? Not at all. Doesn't have to be. You know why? Because he's got a line like 3.5, and he's playing a team like the Yankees. So again, we got a righty against the Yankees at home. Where do they rank? Number 8 in the league. 23.6% strikeout. So that is closer to 1 in every 4 guys going down swinging. There's no way that we should not be able to clear a 3.5 line. I believe Las Vegas strongly will agree with that, but let's just dig in and find out for sure. Kyle is right here. Okay, so he is juiced at -133, not quite as high as Logan Gilbert, but still he is juiced in the direction we want him to be. Vegas is siding with our pick. Again, the line is too low in my opinion. The splits rate is where we want it to be, over 20%. So that, I believe, is a good pick. Lock it in as pick number 2, Cal Quantrill, over 3.5 strikeouts. Next, this is where my love plays fall into like plays. Things get very tight, like I said, as far as value goes. I did look into the live lines, and there is a little value there, but these live lines are a little harder just to get right, in my opinion, because the variance is very wide on them. I did look into this area. So my next play is going to be Max Fried. The two ways I'm looking at taking him would be either over 3 strikeouts in innings 1, 2, and 3, or full game over 5. I'm probably going to wind up with taking the full game over 5, just because I don't want to push, and I think a strikeout an inning is pretty fair, which I guess would leave this as a push as well. But his fantasy score is just a little too high, but it's not too high where I can justify taking the under. So if we go back in and we look at Max Fried, who's a lefty. Sorry, real quick, I did just see this. We'll get back to it. So Max Fried is a lefty. Let's get rid of that. Throw in a lefty, and they're playing at home, so this Philly is going to be away today. So let's see where Philly ranks over the last 30 days. Okay, coming in at 22.1% strikeout. So that is right in the wheelhouse we want them to be. That 20 to 25% range is the lowest end of the range we want to be on if we're taking a strikeout prop. Anything under that, I want nothing to do with it. Like that of Julio Urias. Nothing we want to touch today. Very, very not something we want to touch today. But Philly at 22.1%. Max Fried, if we look at his strikeouts over the last 5-6 games, we're looking at 3 versus the Mets. He constantly struggles versus the Mets. This doesn't surprise me. The last game against Philly, he pitched 5 innings, and he had 8 strikeouts. That was just 2 weeks ago on 9/22. A week prior to that, on 9/16, he played Philly also for 6 innings and 4 strikeouts. The 2 fantasy counts were 36 and 28 points. So again, he's right. You really could take them all 3 ways. You could take the strikeouts here, you could take the live strikeout line, or you really could take the pitcher fantasy score. I mean, if we say he's going to get, it really depends. If he gets 6 innings, he's going to get there. If he only can pitch 5 innings, it's going to be tough. 5 innings would be 15 points, no quality start. So 15. Let's say he gets 5 strikeouts exactly. That brings him up to 30. They get a win. That brings him up to 36. That means if he allows 1 run, he hits the under. So that's a little too close for my liking. So pick 3, I'm going to put as, we didn't even get to look on Pinnacle yet. Pick 3 is going to be Max Fried over 5 strikeouts is going to be the official play. If we look at Max on here, Max Fried is projected for about 16 batters, so about 5.1 innings. So he is juiced heavily over 4.5 strikeouts, the classic prize pick line, the push line. It's heavily juiced at 4.5. They have it at 5 because they want you to push. I think there is upside for going over 5, though, considering he just played them, put up 8 strikeouts one of the games in 5 innings at home. So the game that he had 4 strikeouts in 6 innings was in Philly. So we're going to go with the over 5 for Max Fried as pick number 3. Pick number 4, It's going to also be looked at two ways. It's going to be Justin Verlander. It's just, do I want to take the live line of over 3.5 strikeouts in innings 1, 2, and 3? So basically projecting a strikeout an inning in 2 and 1 of those innings. I like that. The other way that I do like looking at it, though, is the fantasy points. So if we look into his fantasy points, he is listed at 40.5. So let's go, first off, let's look at the matchup. The matchup is great. So he is a righty. He is pitching at home. So yeah, that's correct. And Seattle comes just above where we were looking at Philly, a 25% strikeout rate. That is the best that we got on the whole slate right now. So with that 25% strikeout rate, along with Verlander being a strong strikeout pitcher, I do like that live line. If we take a look at Verlander's leash, I'm assuming he's projected for well over 6 innings. Yes, heavily juiced for over 17.5 pitching out, so he's projected to go over 6. So that would get him 18 points. I'm assuming he's going to have under 3 runs. Vegas is looking to project it over 1.5. I believe it'll probably fall at 2. You got to consider Seattle does score in bunches. A home run is the only way I see him giving up more than 3, being like a 2 or 3 run banger. I don't see them picking away at him today, though. But again, he is juiced heavily over 6 innings. He is juiced heavily at over 5.5 strikeouts at a minus 144. So again, the classic Prizepicks line set at 6, setting you up for a push. So let's just take that into consideration. 6 strikeouts would be worth 18 points. So we got 18 points there. We'd have 22 for 6 innings pitched and a quality start. That's 40. They're a minus 210 favorite to win the game. So we'll give him 6 more points for the win. That brings him up to 46. Okay. Let's say he allows 2 runs. That would put him at 40 even. So he would lose by the hook. If he gives up 1 run, he's there. If he pitches 6.1 innings, he's there if he gives up 2 runs. So again, this is probably the one that is squeaking out the most value right here, is the Verlander play. Again, if you want to go to the live line because of that, you can. But I'm going to roll with fantasy score, I believe. I'm giving you 4 picks just so you have options. Personally, I would be playing 2 or 3 of them. The Verlander play is very hit or miss. Just because I have the funds to play around with, I'm going to play it because I think there's definitely a chance that the over hits. Another one you can look into is Garrett Cole, if you want to look into that on your own time. Fantasy score, I don't like the strikeouts, but fantasy score might be a possibility, as Cleveland was not able to put up any offense whatsoever. So if you want to take a look at that, you can do so. Otherwise, I think that's all we've got for today, leaving us with, again, the picks being Logan Gilbert, more than 3.5 strikeouts. Cal Quantrill, more than 3.5 strikeouts. Max Fried, over 5 strikeouts. And Justin Verlander, over 40.5 fantasy points. Good luck if you're tailing today, guys. Until next time, peace.